Hello, everybody. Once again, I'm Liam Craft Engineer, aka Zorval Channel Less Than Guru, and today for Palladium, it's more of a awareness video rather than a problem with a solution. It's just to understand that even though Palladium First Edition is based off of the older AD&D or D&D, I actually don't know. You'd have to ask Kevin Simbita or somebody who he's told it to, whether it was the OD&D from the little white box, or if it was AD&D or BX. Beck, it wouldn't be Beckme, but which form of D&D he evolved Palladium from. But one of the things that happened in all editions of D&D, old, new, middle, whatever, that is very different from Palladium is how the game changes over time. So at the beginning, it really is very close to D&D in your percentages on how often you're going to hit, how often you're going to take damage and die, etc. Even though they do have one of the cool features with it, which are the reactive defenses or the active defenses, instead of your shields and your defensive ability just adding to your armor class or armor rating. In Palladium, you can react and use an action or have an automatic reaction that you can use for defense. The difference and why it changes in Palladium is in D&D, armor classes tend to get harder to hit as you gain levels and gain bonuses to hit. And that works the same in modern D&D with the DCs, the difficulties on how the difficulty check number, on how what the base number you need to succeed. So they get harder as you gain levels, but you gain bonuses, whether that's the armor class to hit and you're rolling to hit, or your save versus something and then you're rolling to save. So it really breaks down to you're rolling the same number on the die to succeed or miss. And there's a video, you can look at it from a dungeon craft or professor dungeon master who knows so much more about D&D than I ever would. He basically realizes, and a lot of number crunchers will as well, that if you're fighting a low foe along your level, we're talking about around your level, then you're going to hit on, say, a 10, rolling a 10. If something's a little bit challenging, it's going to be a 13, and if it's really challenging, you're looking at a 15. So it's by increments, but it doesn't matter what level you are, so it's an illusion of getting better. If you are going against on equal footing with creatures, gaining levels is more of an illusion for those two strike, and we're talking about just melee stuff. In Palladium, it's very different because armor ratings do not improve. There's not anywhere that I've been able to find armor rating in Palladium First Edition above a 20, and that is only in the 6th book, Isle at the Edge of the World, which is a crystal armor, similar to how rune weapons and divine weapons and magic weapons work. It's a psionic type of armor or weapons they have, and they provide a 20. Before that, Armor of Ithan was the very best thing at the 18, or you can use that basic force field if you use later printings of the First Edition that also has an armor rating of 18. Those never go up, but your strike values go up, and Palladium doesn't have critical misses. So that one, at some point, is going to hit. It might hit armor, but it will hit, and that's even been shown in my games where somebody rolled a 1 and they had a +6, that gave them a 7, and they hit armor. So if you remember in Palladium, a total of a 1 through 4 is going to miss. In later games, they did 1 to 8 for range, but in Palladium First Edition, that wasn't implemented. That is something you might want to implement. I haven't. But then a 5 through whatever your armor rating is hits your armor, damages your armor, and then above your armor rating hits you and damages you. So there will be a point where, say, that cloth and that padded armor at the 6 and the 8 armor rating won't be effective whatsoever. You will have bonuses when you take your hand-to-hand combat bonuses, when you take your weapon proficiency bonuses, if you have any PP bonuses, if you have any magical item bonuses, those will all add together, and spell buffs that will add and give you great numbers you will automatically succeed at hitting. So therefore, you must be able to defend, whether that's an automatic parry, an automatic dodge, or spending an action to parry or dodge, or having some other type of mitigation. To show that, I have a couple of characters that I brought up here. Grouten Tor is a 2nd level soldier. So this is my virtual tabletop where I've put everything, and the GRPG is great because it will show all of your bonuses. As you can see, he's in the hand-to-hand using hand-to-hand soldier. He has his weapon proficiencies, and if I have him swing his sword and roll, it will show he rolled and he has a +1 because of his weapon proficiency in the sword. That's his only bonus. If we look at his physical prowess, it's only a 10. That doesn't give him a bonus. So he rolled a 14 and got a 15. That's not really great, but it's very comparable to what an early level D&D character would be. Now, at 5th level, we have Sir Emery here. If we look at his, he has a physical prowess of 17, so he has a little bonuses there, and he's 5th level. So if I hit his, and let me move this away from me, his arming sword, which is a long sword, you'll see he has a couple of bonuses here. He has a +2 because of his sword, and a +1 because of his PP bonus. So he has that. And then if you add something, I believe, Fleet Feet, let's bring this up. It adds 2 attacks. So if we give him the Fleet Feet spell, and then he has a +4 added to that. So his total additions are 3 and 4 is a +7. So that could not fail to hit something. It might hit armor, but it is going to hit something. It can never fail, even if you roll a 1 in it. So that is something to take into account. And then if you look at your automatic parries, if like Grouten Tor, if he's parrying and he has a large shield, he's just going to, at like 2nd level, he's going to have a +1 because he doesn't, again, have any PP modifiers. But somebody like Sir Emery, who is a paladin, who is going to have hand-to-hand paladin, we can even take off the Fleet Feet effect to begin with. And we do that, and we do his shield. Then he has +2 because he's a paladin, and his hand-to-hand paladin. He has a +5 because of his weapon proficiency, large shield. He has a PP bonus because of his physical prowess, and the shield itself gives a +1. That's what is here. So already at level 5, he is at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's at a +9 to parry. So at his level, doing equal threats against him, his armor rating is going to mean less. It's still, when it rolls low and you do have those, you're automatically hitting, but you're going to hit an armor, and he's wearing a splint armor, which is the 2nd highest at an armor rating of 16. But anything that is above 16, and even if he doesn't want his armor to be damaged, he can attempt to parry, and it's his active defenses, his parries, that are going to prevent him from being hit by equivalent or higher level opponents. So that's just one thing that I wanted to say, that as you advance in levels in Palladium, your armor rating is going to stay the same, but your defenses that are active defenses, such as your parries and your dodges, those are going to raise, and that is what's going to start to become more important And as you go up levels, it's only going to increase. And again, if we say give him Fleet Feet and we give him Mystic Strength, and then we roll for his shield, he right here you can see it has a 13 already from Fleet Feet gives him 4. The PP bonus is a 1, the 5, the 2, the shield. So that's just really extra stuff that gives it to him. That a 13 is a pretty powerful bonus to defend. That's also why I did the spell targeting and allow targeting to be used for wizards and spells, and why the level of spells I use every level adds a that you cast it at is a +1 for those that require strikes to hit, which I did include. I made it so that fireballs and call lightning and things like that also use that. But that's something that, even though I'm not saying you need to change anything, but do be aware of it, because it starts off very D&D like in your percentages to hit, but then at some point the percentages that you're actually going to hit your opponent are pretty high. It's not that D&D where you're rolling the same number to hit. You can roll lower and lower with Palladium and still hit as you raise levels. So hopefully that is something to give you some thought about. And once again, I am Liam Crafton Jr., aka Zorro Less Than Guru. Until next time, I will catch you later.